And all of this time, my brother took great care to, number one, be on time in his classes, to make sure to prepare the work that he had to do for the shir, for the whatever it may be, whether it was a pasuk, whether it was a little piece of Gemara. He cared very much about it, about all this. And as he got older, and he was here for 10, 11, years, 12 years, his interest and his drive and his care became stronger and stronger. With each passing day, his love and his will to learn and to do his work well became stronger and stronger than that he did throughout his whole time in both, from the first grade to the 12th grade. After the 12th grade, graduation, he entered Yeshiva Yisrael Chohan and became a Talmud there, and did his work learning by different Rosh Yeshivas and working very hard again to understand and to know and to make progress. He had friends constantly, Chaverim, the finest people. I'm not mentioning names, but some of them were very old and turned out to be great people, great scholars. And he associated with everyone and talked Torah with everyone. You know, it's a love of Torah and a love of learning, and he worked hard at it. And this went on until he finished the 4 years, so it's called college, but of course it's yeshiva. And then he entered in what we call the years of Smicha, the studying for Smicha. Smicha years took about 3 years, which time, again, he put all his energy and strength into knowing his work well. Other Chaverim called upon him and asked him that he should give shiurim there and that. And my brother said he will do this. He made tapes for them. He made many tapes to explain difficult sugyas in Yamaras and difficult parshas, halachas, in Yoredei that served them well. And that went on for a period of 3 years. And after 3 years, he entered the office of the president of the university, the Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Shmuel Belkin. He entered that room there to meet with 3 Rabbanim, Rabbi Belkin, Rabbi Shatkis, and Rabbi Yosef Sadowsky, to take his Bechina. The Bechina was supposed to be 2 hours, and I was waiting outside that office and praying for him all. 20 minutes later, he came out, and I said, Gershon, what happened? What's going on? He said, they told me to leave. Thank God, Rabbi Belkin came out immediately and put his hands around Rabbi Gershon, my brother, and said, don't worry, everything is fine. And I never discussed the whole story with him at that time. However, lately, a few years ago, when I say a few years, I talk about close to 50, 60 years after that, my brother and I having a conversation, and he brought it up, and he said, I have to tell you about that, he said. And I know he wasn't a boasting person, but he had to tell me. And this is what he said. He said, I entered the room, and the Rabbanim were there, and they questioned me. They questioned me, and I answered every question. And then they turned to Masechta Nida, another very difficult topic, and he said, I answered every question. And said, then they turned to Yoredei Chelik Aleph, has to do with the Taruas and Melicha and I'm going to ask you, Echakir, what would you say is the reason for, let's say, A? Is it so? Or would you say the reason for it is because of B? That's the Hakir. Which side? And I answered, it is 2 days in the Ramah, at which Rabbi Yoshever said, enough, okay. And that's when they told me to leave the room. They did not tell me any hints did he give me about what the topic would be with those Hakiras. But when I was learning the other day, he said, that subject bothered me, those 2 opinions in the Ramah. And then when the Rav gave me this Hakira, this discussion, it fitted in so well, so beautiful. And he said, the Rav, he was a Go'on Amiti. And that was my brother's always, everything he looked for was Amiti. And he said it many times, that he was a Go'on Amiti. Everything in life my brother looked for was to get the Amiti, the truth of it, and so forth. And so he went on, he looked for his position to work, and finally he got a position, he got a fine position. He was chosen to work for the federal government, the congressional committee that has to do with all the rules and laws of taxes. It had nothing to do with individuals. These are the laws, the halachas of taxes, the very deep and difficult halachas that were involved there. And he rose from the ranks. In fact, he told me many years later, he met with his spoke on the phone. Hello?
Yeah, we're still here. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. He told me that he met the gentleman who was the real bookie in all the halachas, and that gentleman told my brother that this gentleman is retiring, and my brother asked him why. My brother never met him personally because that person was in Washington, but he said to my brother, "Ich will learn and study." That was the first time that my brother realized that man was really a Talmud Chacham. And he told my brother, well, you're taking over from here. And he was like the Shilio Mason in all this, throughout the whole United States. But never did he tell me, Rabbi Gershon, my brother, anything about private would have to do there with the work. He never talked about the work. Never said anything. Apparently there was strict rules about what you could say and what you could talk. And so it was. My dear people, the thing came to me, what is it that made my brother, Rabbi Gershon, grow himself to be such a great Talmud Chacham that Rabbi Yoshever had said he had never seen anyone like that in 10 years? What drove him? What led him to this from childhood on to do that? And I thought, and finally I put together several other thoughts. But one time, my brother Rabbi Gershon said to me, "Yitzchak, you're a lucky man." I said, "Yes, why?" "You were named after the Zayda. So Yitzchak ben Zion of Zayda, you were named after him." "Yes, all right, Gersh. Fine. I am proud of that. But Gersh, Mommy told us that her father used to learn with you, Torah, when you were that tiny little baby when you were born. And he was learning Torah with you." and he was learning Torah with you. And the only reason that had stopped when it did, it stopped when all of a sudden one day, as he was holding the little baby as he was learning with you, he handed the baby to someone and said, hold the baby, he said. Close the windows. All the people that closed the windows. And my baby lay down on the couch. And immediately, the Shama ascended to heaven. And that's why I understood why also that notebook that I had, that he had left behind, that was only half finished. My mommy said to me, someday, someone will publish what was there. It will be done. I did it. I published that and put it together with the other 3 Torah and made that a 4th saver, and I called it Birkas Leah. But now I know why it had stopped. And it stopped because the Zayda was called up to the heavens. And who was my Zayda? He was a Daigor. He was known in Lithuania as a Bucky. In Lithuania, my mother used to say he was a Bucky. And he was known as he was a dime in city beers when we came to Rome there. He had Taverim like Chaim Ariza, like my Mayor Silver, like Avram, our train cook. These were Taverim. He was close to the Adaris. He had smicha from the Chesed Shlomo. He was a man, as my brother would say. He had the goods. And so, it came to me the following. Came to me this one thought that I'm going to share with you now. There's a pasuk in Malachi Bay. The pasuk in Malachi says, "Ve'Eliyahu Omar El Elisha, Eyol Chet Elisha, Shal Mo Eselecha, B'Terem Eloka, Nayimiko, Vayomer Elisha, Ve'Hido, Hishtayim, Biruchako, Eli." Yes. Why then? Why couldn't he give it then? He couldn't give it at that time. He couldn't give him twice. I saw from a holy great rabbi, I don't remember his name, a great rabbi, because a person can only give what he has. So he could not at that time give him Pishnayim. But when he was ascending to Shemayim, Eliyahu gave Elisha Pishnayim. And that is Abadai. My brother Gershon, when he was that little baby, he got Pishnayim. He got Pishnayim from the Zayda. Yes. He got Pishnayim from the Zayda. And so, when I said to my brother Gershon, I said, did they learn with you? And he answered, and he said, Niba Valayota my neighbor, he said, I am grateful to my Zayda for everything that he did for me. And all this led to a life of Avodas Hashem, of which my brother reached, as far as I'm concerned, the Madrega that I call. He was a holy man. My brother Gershon was a holy man. A holy man. And now I look back when I was a little boy and I was playing together with him, and then he had to leave to go to the bus, to go to the yeshiva. And I was crying. And my mother said to me, don't cry. He will come back. he will come back. אני מאמין במושלגו, שתהיה חייס הרצם, באישי הרצון, באישי הבר יסבר שמיים, יזל לזכר לעד, ולנצח נצחים. Everyone, be well.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Beautifully said. We're gonna hang up. I'm gonna hang up now. Yitzi, is now good for you? That's where we have everything together. Then we'll have the Suda and the Siyam.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay, Rabbi, so we have.
I don't know if there's a need.